So I've been watching the Nairobi City Thunder for quite some time now, and I must say this is one of the best runs that they've had in recent times. And this is a season that they're going to make history as one of the unbeaten teams in the KBF League. And looking at how they've been playing, there is no team right now that can be able to take them out. And the Ulinzi Warriors, they knew that the hard way, as yesterday's matchup ended in a win. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about what I've been seeing especially when it comes to Thunder basketball. So without further ado, let me just get into it. So first things first, the Nairobi City Thunder, they have assembled a group of guys that have shown that they can be able to play together, and they have enough staying power to even see it through to the end. And the addition of Coach Brad Ibbs has been one of those additions that has made them get to this point. I know giving Coach Brad Ibbs all these good players will yield to wins. And even going into the postseason, I feel like they don't have any challenge as they have the roster and they have the players to rotate, given different matchups presented by teams. Because in the playoffs postseason is quite different, because you have to beat a team at least twice or thrice or even 4 times to be able to win a basketball series. So with that being considered and that out of the way, I'm just going to talk about one thing that I think is quite ignored, especially when it comes to the Nairobi City Thunder, and it's what they'll do after they win the KBF title. I know this video can come off too soon, and I know a lot of people can have a couple of things to say in the comments, but just hold on, just listen to what I have to say, because this is actually quite important, because all roads show that the Nairobi City Thunder are going to win the KBF title, and there's no questions about it. I don't think they can bottle it at the end, because they have shown time and time again that they are way better than any other team that is going to be put forth. And I won't be surprised if they sweep everyone in the postseason. This Nairobi City Thunder roster just looks like the 2016-2017 Warriors when they put in KD in the mix. So they were just unbeatable, and they went ahead and won the championship. So I'm not saying that the Golden State Warriors on the NBA are similar to the Nairobi City Thunder. All I'm saying is they've had a good run. So in this setting up this team and this huge financial commitment by Twende that has been added to the roster, and they've been able to get all these good players and assemble them to play together, there's one very fundamental thing that I've seen that is being ignored, and it's the way that they have put this team. Is it sustainable? Is this the model that KBF teams are supposed to employ so that they can be able to achieve success? Because they can splash a lot of money coming from the Twende organization. I know Twende, they have been able to compensate their players well, and they have shown that they can be able to turn a team pro. And the Nairobi City Thunder right now, they are playing like a pro team. Even like a pro team, they are the pro team in Kenyan basketball, because their players are getting compensated very well. So the thing is, where is the return on investment if the Nairobi City Thunder have an underwhelming road to BAL run? Let's say they're not able to make it past the Elite 16 or even become a top 3 team in BAL, because right now all roads show that the Nairobi City Thunder are gearing up towards having a historic run and even notching not at number 1, either number 1, number 2, or number 3 slot. I know the number 1 slot is a stretch, because you're going to be playing against other champions from other nations, but also even at least getting the number 3 spot, just like the way Dynamo did before they blew things up in the actual BL. But I'm not going to talk about that. All I'm just saying is, do the Thunder have what it takes to be able to get to that point? Because they have shown and they have proven to be able to be better than any other team, even in the top 4 teams. If you put the Equity Domas, Ulinzi Warriors, KPA, the Thunder have knocked off all the top 4 teams in there. And also the other teams that are below them, it's a no contest when they match up. You see the game they played against Absa, they won that game by north of like 60 to 65 plus points. So there's no questions asked there. So even going back to my actual point, where's the return on investment? Because they have spent so much money on that roster, And in KBF, there's no revenue structure that is going to enable you to be able to get back that money, because you can even say that you're going to commit like 400 to 500 USD per month for a player, and there are about like 11 to 12 players in that roster. How are you going to be able to compensate them? How are you able to not even compensate them? They're compensating it, but how are you able to get that money back? Because all things considered, it's very good to pay your players, but how are you getting that money back? Because in basketball, it's a business. Majority of the time, KBF are operating more of a sport instead of business entertainment. So there's not those two aspects, business and entertainment, are not working in KBF. So they're looking at the way to use the sport as a way to pull in fans, which has not proven as to be a way that can be able to like sell tickets as much. So if the Thunder bottle it in the Elite 16, can you say that they have failed? Because we've seen KPA do it not once but twice. They bottled it in the first time they played in Road to Bal, and they bottled it in 2022 when they made the Elite 16 miraculously after one team pulled out of the first round. So they're able to proceed to the Elite 16. Can we say if the Thunder bottled it, they're in the same realm of KPA? No, I don't want to say that. But all I can say is this is a better looking side that Kenya is going to send this time. And the thing that gives me a lot of hope is Brad Ibbs being on the and having all these players, not only just play hustle basketball, but also just try to, include quality players that can make quality plays and people who can actually hoop. Because majority of the time, the teams that we keep sending there, especially KPA, who have had 3 go-arounds in Road to Bal, they have severely underwhelmed because they don't understand the fundamentals of roster construction, and the addition of players just for that campaign alone ruins the whole team chemistry. And by the looks of things, I don't think the Nairobi Thunder are going to add players like that because they already have the tools they need, and they're not an organization that works on impulse, just the same way we have seen the KPA Dockers, how they do things. They think that just having money is enough. The Nairobi City Thunder have proven that having money is not enough, but having technical competence and having people who actually know how to do their job is paramount to making the organization succeed. Because you have seen year after year, the KPA Dockers show that they have the most money in KBF, but their lack of quality in personnel has led them to the results that we've been seeing on the men's side in Road to Bal, and also on the women's side, because their complacent nature in working in isolation has led them to the results that we have been seeing. The women's team are the second best team in Africa, which is not a bad thing because they finished number 2. But they can't be able to finish number 1 because that will mean that they will have to challenge the top teams. They have to beat A Sporting, which they failed. But this is not a video talking about KPA. This is a video talking about the Nairobi City Thunder. All I'm just saying is the Nairobi City Thunder, as currently constructed, are one of the best organizations we have seen in recent times. I know we have organizations in KBF and even the teams that have money, KPA, Ulinzi, the Equity Dumas, but what have we seen from them? These are teams that have already hit their ceiling. They are the only best. They only play best in KBF. The Equity Dumas, I'm not going to talk about them too much because they have not won the championship yet, and they have not gone to either Road to Bal. But you've seen the Ulinzi Warriors and KPA go ahead and play in Road to Bal. Ulinzi have only played one time, and they got schooled and they got embarrassed because they are a team that relies on physicality to win games. They relied on their physicality yesterday, and it failed them, and they flopped. So all I'm just saying is the best team right now in KBF is Nairobi City Thunder. This is not even an overstretch because they have beat every single team that has been put in front of them. I know a lot of people are just going to be waiting to see that eventual Nairobi City Thunder versus the KPA Dockers matchup. And honestly, the KPA Dockers are far removed from that title contending team that won back-to-back titles. So people are just waiting to see on that one. But today's games, the Equity Dumas and KPA Dockers will square it out to see if you'll be able to see if the KPA Dockers still have it or they have fell off, or the Equity are the number 2 team in KBF. Because right now in the power rankings, we have the Nairobi City Thunder, who are on an island of their own at the number 1 spot. Then in the number 2, 3, and 4 spots, which are a tier below, we have the Equity Dumas, we have the Ulinzi Warriors. The Ulinzi Warriors still retain their position, and they have the KPA Dockers. So those 3 and 4 spots will change depending on how KPA play, and we'll be able to see who in the 2, 3, or 4 spots change, but the number 1 spot still remains intact. So the main thing that I must say is this has been the best season for the Thunder, and they are going to make history. But the amount of money that they have committed to that roster, can we say that they have failed? They have failed if they are not able to manage road to BAL, because all the moves and all that investment, all that financial commitment is geared towards that. If they don't make road to BAL with this roster, I don't think they can the next year, because one thing I've seen with these elite teams, it's all about putting all the best players together. It's all about playing team basketball. It's all team. Then when they win the first championship, they win the second, they win the third, you'll start seeing some conversations in their locker room like, am I the reason? Why are we winning? Am I the reason? Can I get my spotlight? So we're going to see those tussles. So if the Nairobi City Thunder do not win road to BAL, at least not even win it all, but at least make the number 1, 2, or 3 spot, I can say this is a season that they have failed, because next season is all guaranteed. And that roster, given like the way they have been spending their money, I don't think it's sustainable, because they're not getting any return on investment per game. If they are getting paid in games, and if they're able to get that money back in games, now it will be sustainable. But if they're going out of pocket, out of the 20 basketball's piggy bank to be able to play all these players and pay them and compensate them well, I don't think they're going to be able to do that for another year, because that money can get depleted if you're not able to replenish that money from the actual players that you're investing in. It can be a lost season if they don't make BAL, so they have to make BAL, and that means that they have to go through the gauntlet of teams and have a historic run like the way the Dynamo team had one. So that's all I got for you guys. So I just said, let me just talk about that one, because it's actually a very essential conversation, and hopefully we can be able to see this team succeed not only in KBF but also when they head to road to BAL this year and make the 2025 BAL. So as the Nile Conference is just right around the corner, I am just happy to see our Kenyan team just trying to be able to get to that point where other nations have. You can see the City Oilers made it. You can see Dynamo made it, although they screwed up. You can see APR made it through a direct ticket. Of course, APR are just a tier above like every other East African team, but it's not stopping Kenya from being able to make it. And the Nairobi City Thunder are our best bet at making the BAL. So if you guys like the video, make sure you leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think about this. And I'm out. Peace.